So as we know, in 1976, Patek Philippe introduced the Nautilus range, having been designed by one of the greatest designers of all time, the late, great Gerald Genta. This was in the form of the jumbo reference 3700. This ran an adapted Jaeger-LeCoultre movement, also utilised by Audemars Piguet in the Jumbo Royal Oak, having been introduced some 5 years earlier. Patek Philippe went on to add to their Nautilus collection in the form of the reference 3800, being some 4 to 5 millimeters smaller than the aforementioned 3700 reference. And though no one's exactly sure why they went on to introduce the slightly smaller watch, I surmise it's due to the fact that although the 3700, the jumbo Nautilus, enjoys a cult-like status today, it's actually not the easiest watch to wear on the wrist. Hence, the slightly smaller 3800 was a much, much easier wear. Incidentally, the 3800 was actually more expensive than the aforementioned jumbo 3700, this being due to it incorporating their first Patek Philippe in-house movement. There were 4 main iterations of the 3800, the rarest and most valuable of which being the 3800 108. Now the 108 references a full pavé watch, dial, bezel, bracelet, case, etc. Now bearing in mind that most of these 3800 108s were manufactured in the mid-80s up until the early 90s, let's say, they all had a slight problem. The problem being that they were slightly bald underneath the bezels. Yeah. They all had a lack of stones just underneath the bezels on the shoulders of the watch. Except for one that we know of. This being the final series, which has the stones underneath the bezel, as you can see here, compared to the standard version. Now, when I flew to Valencia in Spain to pick up said bad boy wristwatch, I actually spoke to the retailer, the Patek Philippe retailer that sold it new in the early 2000s, and they confirmed that it was indeed a special order on behalf of their client. In fact, they also ordered a ladies' version, and this was probably the reason why it has more stones than any of the previously known examples, which the extract of the archives confirms, but also it has the last of the movements used in the Nautilus 3800 being the 330194. So instantly all my fears and suspicions were put at ease, as this is the reason why it is this unique watch that it is.